Well, then I'm not one into, if we're here and we have a quorum, I'd like to call the meeting to order at 5:33.
Okay.
Okay.
I haven't heard from anyone that they were coming or not coming, so it might just be the small intimate group today. First thing we need to do is, I have 2 sets of minutes here to approve. One from September 13th, which was our last regular meeting. And then on September 14th, we had the special meeting that was just about murals with Jamie Pearson. Can
There is a little typo on the second one, September 14.
Okay,
On a part that's first page in the process part, first line, the name of the paint is BEHR.
oh, gosh, I wrote BAER, didn't I?
Mhm.
BEHR.
Right.
You know, it didn't look right at the time either. So, but
That's not a big deal. It's just
okay.
as
all
long
right.
as we go over
Well, I
it.
appreciate that, because that actually explains it. And that actually is important, because that is specifically the type of paint he wants to use. And I think that's probably an important detail.
What is
Anything
it called
else?
again? What is it called again?
The BEHR paint.
Oh, beer.
Yeah,
Phrase it.
there. Yes.
Hose
Yes.
brand.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the outdoor paint, he says you don't skimp on the paint, because that, obviously will affect the mural's longevity.
Okay. I see that now. Yeah,
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
that's all
Must be
right.
the last time I purchased paint. It's been a while. Anyway, so is there a motion to approve? Is there anything, and are there any other changes, or what's the other thing I'm supposed to ask for?
I move to accept the minutes.
Yes. Any,
Second,
all right. All in favor?
Aye.
yes.
All right, great. Both, and that was, but we can do both sets at once, correct?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, let's get right into communications here. First thing I want to do is thank Rachel Franco. She's been putting things on social media, so anybody who likes, she's putting it on the Groton, it's not the Groton, she's putting it on the Groton Beautification Committee website, Facebook page, I'm sorry. And also, I believe she may have posted it on the Groton Community Forum website also. Just occasionally posting photographs of some of the things that we've done. So that's been really nice.
I saw that and I wasn't sure who was doing it, but it was good to see that.
Yeah, so Rachel's got the Facebook, the ability right now to manage it, and she doesn't mind doing that. So I really appreciate it, because if it was up to me, it would probably be not very well done, because she's much better at any kind of media than I am, that's for sure. So we really appreciate that. Both Bruce and I have been talking to Mark Berry quite a bit, and that's going very well. We're talking about murals as well as other things. And I also had, both Aline and I met with Greg Hanover and Steve Post prior to doing some work at the Avery Parklet. And Steve Post is the he works for Public Works Highway Department, but he is also the appointed tree warden. So we have established a really good relationship. So later on in this meeting, we'll be talking about that more, because I think we want to talk about some tree planting. Do you have any communications that you want to, does anyone have any communications that they want to bring up?
I do. I got an email from John Burt today. He wants to get together with Greg Brown and Mark Berry
Who's
next
Greg
Wednesday.
Brown?
Huh?
Who's Greg Brown?
I think he's the Public Works guy.
Okay.
Greg Hanover.
There's Greg Hanover, yeah, but that's what it says. It says, I'm pretty sure it says Greg Brown on the email. I don't have it in front of me. Anyway, whether it's Greg Brown or Greg Hanover, next Wednesday, we're gonna get together and they want to talk about putting the sculpture that I suggested we put somewhere, probably over by the senior center. So we're going to chat about it. Anybody wants to show up, they're welcome to come over here.
Excuse me, Bruce, that's also, and John is facilitating the meeting, or he's actually going to attend?
Yeah, he's going to be here.
Okay, wow, great. Oh,
So
that's
Wednesday,
some
not tomorrow.
VIPs there, geez, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
I have it's, if you drive by Noank Road where I live, it's 328. Right next to my garage, I have it sitting there. I have it pulled apart a little bit because I was cleaning it up a little bit in anticipation that this will maybe really happen. So yeah, anybody's welcome to come and look at it if they wish. It's, you know, stop and ring my doorbell or just stop and look at it. It's right next to the garage and it's disassembled. There's only two parts. I mean, you can easily see how they would fit together. And so we'll discuss where it's going, I guess, if in fact they want to do it. And I guess that's it.
That's
So-
exciting, Bruce. Yeah, that's cool.
What
Yeah.
time is the meeting?
They didn't give me a time yet, but it's sometime in the morning. They'll let me know.
All right.
And
so
the
on
meeting
20th.
place is.
And I'll
by
let
the
you know
senior
too,
center?
when I find out.
Okay. That
And the
is great.
location of the meeting.
Here, where the sculpture is.
At Bruce's
Oh, at your
home.
place.
It's 328 Noank Road,
Mhm.
which is almost on the corner of West Mystic Avenue and Noank Road,
Mhm.
about 100 yards from there.
Very close to the water.
Very close.
Well, that's excellent. That's exciting because there's some good talk about this. When I've been in contact with Mark Berry recently, he said that they're going to rebrand the senior center as the 55+ active living center, I believe it's called.
Mhm.
And so they would really like to have something, I mean, they're very interested. And they
Yeah,
might
he
have
was,
a
he
good-
called me and he was very complimentary about the sculpture. He's seen it, I guess, already. And I have it kind of buried in a couple of trees there to protect it. And I used to have it sitting right out in the front yard, but there's so many tourists now walking by on Noank Road that I didn't feel really comfortable about leaving it there. So I kind of put it in a little bit in the background.
Okay, all right,
But it's out now, so anybody wants to look at it, they're welcome.
great. Well, I'm excited and I'm hoping something, yes, right, public art, yay.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything else anybody wants to share?
I had a group of ladies, I guess it must have gotten around GLP that I'm on the beautification committee. They asked me to bring up, it sounds like it's more like a blight issue, but they want to find out whether anyone's concerned about across the street from the Dairy Queen. There's a house there that's obviously,
Yeah.
I think, that has a really messy yard with a fence that's broken down and lots of trucks like in the driveway, and whether there's anyone who can, I don't know.
It's a mess. You're
It's a-
absolutely right. But yeah, I don't know if that's within our purview, really. You know, we should not get sidetracked in that kind of stuff, in my opinion. It is a
Well,
beauty issue, but
I'm
We
wondering-
have a blight ordinance and they can enforce that, so the guys can go out.
Can we in any way, as the beautification committee, do we write letters to like the blight officer and say, would you please look into this or get back to us? Can we do that? Does it put more weight on an issue if we address it like kind of formally in a letter or anything?
I don't think they're very effective. And we have a situation, Cindy's aware of it, a few blocks from us up here on, was it Judson or Capstan? The guy has
Or Irving,
house.
is it Irving or is it?
up on top of Irving Street. And the guy is, I don't know what he does, but he has a similar situation, 10 times as bad as the one
Yeah,
across
10
from
times as
Dairy
bad.
Queen.
This is right
And
next
they've
to
been dealing with
town.
that for years and gotten nowhere. So I don't know how effective they can be.
I actually, I'm sorry,
Right
Missy.
from the town hall. This is right there. If the town hall, what the people are saying is if the town hall doesn't feel ashamed of it, then, you know, what does that say about the town?
Okay,
So there's,
but Missy, I
Yeah.
just need to, we don't have the right to go onto somebody's property unless it's probably, not because it doesn't look nice. However, and I really think there, so you can contact the blight officer. All his information is on the, if you look under, isn't it under Public Works, Tabitha? If you
Yeah,
look on the Groton.
that's under planning, actually.
I went and I met him, so I do know him. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
I think, to be honest, I think it's not I think the number of complaints, and I know I think it would be better for each individual person
Okay.
to specifically, not the same email, but to email him with a complaint about some very specific things, because I think it's actually the number of complaints from different individuals.
Okay. I can do that. Tell them.
Okay, all right, yeah, give them the email, but I know it's been a very problematic situation in the town.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. See if something happens. That would be
Well,
interesting.
I did get another communication. I forgot. Has anybody been over to the Seaport and seen the mural that's on the side of the building by the north entrance? It's big. It's quite big. It goes, I don't know, maybe 30 feet up into the air from the ground. And it's kind of an abstract thing, extremely colorful, quite nice, very good. The gal who did it is named Sue McNally. She lives up in Rhode Island. Anyway, I contacted her, and so there's another possibility of an artist. They charge about, or she charges about $50 a square foot. So if that mural, for instance, over on the side of the Ackley building, which is about 8 by 25, you're talking about $10,000. That's an 8 by 25 mural. So these things can get pretty expensive if you're going to have one done by a really recognized artist.
Okay,
So
but you have her contact information.
I do, just in
Okay.
case we want to.
Right, and you know what, you had sent me an email asking me to let Mark Berry know that you have the name of somebody. I have not been in contact with him since I got that email from you.
That's
So
the person.
right,
And I was thinking of her, and it could be anybody, but I mean, this is one person. If you look at the mural, I don't know if it would be appropriate, that kind of a mural for over by Fitch, but you know, that's somebody who's done a bunch of other murals and they're pretty good. So just somebody to keep in mind.
right, if you remember when you see Mark mention it, because I have not mentioned it to him yet.
Oh, okay.
And I'm writing this down so that if neither one of us mentions it to him, I'll make sure and send him an email
I'll
with the
be happy to
information.
tell them. Sure, not a problem.
Yeah, excellent. Okay.
Have we followed through with that man who was active in the Westerly murals, who knows plenty of artists who would do it for free? If you remember, he had quite a few leads for us, and we never met with him, and we never really downloaded his information, did we?
No, I have not followed through on that because I think, well, let's wait till we get to the mural section, which is actually next. And then I can keep my notes organized.
Okay. Sure.
Any other communications?
I just wanted to say that we're launching a community engagement website called Greater Groton. And beautification is going to be featured as one of the projects. It's just kind of a feel-good project we could put up there and get people's feedback on. So
great.
We could ask people maybe, you know, where they want to put public art, and there's a map that they could put pins on. It's a fun, interactive way to get people to give feedback and not get like in the weeds, like Facebook gets very catty.
Yep.
So it's all good, but once you guys take a look at it, I'll send it to you all. And once you take a look at it and you have any recommendations on what we can change.
It's called Greater Groton.
greatergroton.com.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Okay. Look forward to that. See,
That's
you are
fine.
busy.
Yes.
All right, now we can go to unfinished business, and the first one we have is I have murals. I have not contacted anybody else. I've been working exclusively with Jamie. He has sent me a number of images, and I have been in contact with Keith Hedrick's office to try to, because Keith would be able to schedule a mural tour on the base. They were hoping to get a date before this meeting so that I could tell you, because anybody who wants to go and look at the murals that Jamie did put on, they have to be, it's on the lower base, and I guess it's harder to get onto lower base. I don't know, because I've never been associated with the Navy, but anyone who wants to go on this tour, if the Keith's office is able to set it up, we'll need to give our names, and I think you get a background check or something before you can go on the base. I'm not
Sure.
positive, but they need to have people who are expected to come, and you probably have to show your identification before you go on the base. That's don't have a date yet. We were trying to work for the end of this month, but I did not get anything yet from Jill Rusk, who is Keith's chief administrator. So I'll let you guys know. So if you see a email from me, please read it. It says something about mural visitation. I feel whenever we talk about art, I'm a little bit outside of my area of expertise, and I go back to Bruce or to Dana Samararo. I feel very comfortable with Jamie, and I think what I guess what I see is if Jamie could get us started, I think there are many other places where we could use murals in this town. And I think Jamie said the same thing as Cam, who's the person who Missy got that contact for us, also has a lot of contacts and is very, very interested in getting people giving people an opportunity to do murals in the town. So my personal idea is to work with Jamie for this first one, and then get other names of people moving forward from there, because
agree.
Jamie's he doesn't want to blanket the town. He wants to just help get us started.
Right, that's
That's-
great. I think
Sounds good.
he's a real resource for sure.
Yeah. Sounds like a great idea.
We are going to need plenty of people though, Missy, moving forward. So I really do appreciate you looking into that. And I think he's also, the gentleman you spoke with is also a high quality class act. So let's keep him in our pocket too. Looking forward to talking with him at some point. Before I get further into this, I wanted to let you guys know that, oh wait, I skipped something. Regarding the mural, Jamie gave me, for any mural and any artist, the steps that you would go through, but the first thing we need to do is need a final image. So Bruce, I was wondering if I gave you Jamie's phone number. I text with him a lot, and his email, if you could potentially start that discussion with him, because I'm way out of my league.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and you're very aware of kind of what we're looking at,
Mhm.
and how to pull ideas in.
Yep.
So all right, so I'll
Let
get
me
that.
have it, give me that information and I'll give him a call.
Okay, awesome.
So pardon me, did you decide on a collage kind of a thing of different parts? I don't really know where we are in that decision making. I'm sorry, if you could just bring me up to date.
Yeah, actually, we don't really have a design at all, Missy. So, you know, the rest, as much as the rest of us do.
I
We're
was
working on
gonna
that.
say, if I could, so that Greater Groton thing, we could have people give their ideas on what they'd like to see in a mural and do a little poll for like a week.
Mhm.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
Yep.
Part of me wants to keep it as in-house as we can for the first time. Just because I don't want negative input. However, I don't know if that can be done or if that's politically correct.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So let's talk about that. When is your website going to be up, Tabitha?
We're launching it tomorrow, but I don't have to put a poll like that up right away.
Okay.
I can-
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. Yeah. Sometimes when the more information you get and the more information you ask for, it can only make it, sometimes it helps and sometimes it makes it messier. So, I guess, does anybody have a feeling? Elaine, were you going to say something?
No, I think when we spoke with Jamie, he was mentioning Brian Anderson
Yes.
as a potential person to highlight. I was looking to see if we could find a woman to also eventually integrate into murals. It's not easy to find women from linked to Groton. The one I found was Amelia Earhart, because she got married in Noank.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Mhm.
Yeah, right down there at the little store at the very
Right.
end,
Right.
right
Oh,
next to the dock.
The art gallery. Yeah.
There's a little plaque on the building. It's really kind of cool.
Yes.
oh, I had no idea. Awesome. Thank you. Well, I personally don't imagine that the Brian Anderson is going to get particularly far with Mr. Ackley. I don't know that at all. I haven't spoken with Mr. Ackley. I just know that I've heard from Leanne would like something historical. So, take
Mhm.
all of this under advisement. I was very pleasantly surprised that Jim Streeter was very interested in something like that. And he's a historian, but that's a person who came from our area and is a well-known skater now. So anyways, I think we're open to everything. I just don't want I don't want to start anybody arguing or fighting about this, because it's
Yeah.
kind of, anyways. But let's keep that. The thing that Jamie also said is he's looking at, since, we don't have anywhere near a final image or anything like that, is that he thinks we should shoot for around Mother's Day 2022. He said, because then it's going to be warm. It'll be, hopefully, obviously it has to be warm enough to paint. But that's about the time frame. That's the 8th of May this year. That he would think to actually be putting paint on the wall. So it's not like we need to have it done tomorrow, but we would be nice to have a design fairly soon and before Bruce goes off to warmer climates. Although I'm sure we can work online too. Anyways. Does that
Just
sound
a quick-
good?
Yeah, I just have one question.
Yes, please.
Has anybody asked if he can do like just maybe 3 really rough sketches of 3 different ideas and then that
Oh,
way?
he'll do sketches.
Okay.
Absolutely. He's done lots of sketches for me already. He keeps sending me stuff. It's like, I asked him something, could you put horses on that? And he immediately put horses on it. And it's like, no, I don't like that. So thank you, but thanks, but no thanks. I don't think we're going to do the horse racing thing. It doesn't seem to, I think everybody would be little perplexed by the horse racing thing at this point. Anyways, so yes, he will. It's not going to be like, oh, we're going to put a mural up and we won't have any idea. It'll definitely, and Bruce, if you could, if he can do a couple different ideas, but he did that for me already, just sent something real quick when I asked him about when he first he did one for Midway Oval. And then I said, could we have the horses in it? When I realized Midway Oval wasn't where the horse track was. And then they were trotting horses that pulled people behind them. And it was like, oh, it just didn't seem to resonate.
Yeah.
quite so much.
Yeah, we'll talk about that for sure with them. And for instance, I think that I was talking to Tabitha earlier about that, the sewer plant over there, which is huge, huge wall. I mean, if you put like a couple sailing ships or something like, or a sailing ship on there, right on the water, I mean, you know, it would be spectacular,
Yeah.
really.
Well, I should bring up then that when I was speaking with Jill Rusk at Keith Hedrick's office, the mayor's office, she's like, "Where'd you get your muralist?" They're very interested in working on murals on Thames Street. So
Yeah.
we might be really able to help. If we get something started, I think we could really help, and we can get the list of people together and maybe some price-ish and
Yeah.
then move forward. I think that we could really pull it all together for many parts of the different areas of town, which would be, I think, really helpful, because that was the first thing that Jill asked.
Do you have an idea of, could we call that fellow and get some sort of a rough idea of the size of that area that we could put something on so that we can talk about it specifically?
Okay, wait, which
And
area?
I'm talking about the city now. Where we have the opportunity, because it is the city, and it's
Mhm.
part of Groton. I mean, it would be a natural to like maybe even begin there. With a
No, we're
mural.
not beginning there. We're beginning at the bridge. Don't make my life more complicated, sir.
The
Honestly,
bridge.
the
Oh,
bridge.
yeah,
mark-
no, that one's but that's certainly a doable area.
Yes,
Yeah,
you're right. That is I was just down on Thames Street doing the little bit of trash cleanup, and it's just got so much potential. So what I'm hoping is if we can go on this mural tour, that Mayor Hedrick will come, and maybe Jill Rusk, his admin, will come, and we can start getting some synergy going here and start some cross communication. Jill Rusk is on the RTM. I'm in the RTM. And so we've worked together on the RTM, and she's very, very good person to work with, very knowledgeable. And
Good.
Keith Hedrick is extremely supportive for any kind of economic development, I think, in the
Keith is
area.
good. Yeah,
So this is really interesting. When I talked with her, I just needed help getting a group of us on base, and it was immediate. So that would be wonderful if we could start working together on murals also. I will just bring up that we did do a small trash cleanup. I was out of town and I just couldn't, there was a bunch of things that people needed to be called and forms filled out. And so I did not do that. I just went and met with a number of other people and picked up trash on just along the road on Thames Street. Actually, I volunteered, and I got to work with a town councilor and someone who's going for town councilor. So that was really a lot of fun. It was kind of dirty and not dirty at the same time, seeing that it's a main artery. We also did, I'm switching now to, this is unfinished business, but I want to get through it because the other unfinished business is like ongoing. This is like finished business, I guess. Maybe do I need another subheading? Finished business. We did all get together and planted at the town hall annex. We completed that on September 16th. Tabitha.
It looks so good. It's all growing in.
Yeah, I went by there today, and the chrysanthemums are all open. We planted around the, Tabitha got there extra early and then went right into work. Missy was there, Aline was there. Andrew had suggested emailing some town councilors. So I emailed the night before because it was rainy. We didn't know if we were going to be able to do it or not. I emailed the night before the town councilors. Unfortunately, I didn't even think about it. I know all the Groton town councilors, so I didn't get it out to the Republican town councilors who I don't have their information. But anybody who I knew who was on town council or running for town council, I sent them all an email, and we got 2 people to come and work with us. Bruce Jones, and Edward Jacome, both are running for town council on the Democratic side. So it was great. It looks much better. And then surprise, surprise, out of the blue, Aline and I, but I also wanted to say that we had some other help too. We had Eddie and Bruce, but we had my husband and we had Missy. And we also had Shirley Midcoast. Bruce, you remember Shirley? She was came to the meetings back in the day, and she's a landscape designer.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so she also, I had been in touch with her and she showed up. And so we just worked our tails off that morning. And then just this past Friday on the 15th, Aline, myself, Missy, and my husband met a number of people from the highway department. They dug up a bunch of very, very dense soil, and we planted 6 azaleas at the entranceway to the Avery Parklet, which is what we're calling it, that little area, the wetlands area that's right in front of, it's a Long Hill Road and right in front of the Avery Memorial. So we've got 6 azaleas, watered, planted, watered, mulched, and let's hope they get through the winter. The swamp azaleas, which there's 4 swamp azaleas, which will bloom white, were in very challenged shape. So I don't know that there'll be any bloom on there, but the pink ones definitely have buds. So it might take, unfortunately, a year. It might be a year from spring to get a really full bloom, but this spring we should get some. And it is cleaned out. There's no poison ivy there. There's the steps. There's a blueberry bush. There's azaleas. So, we're working on it.
I checked them yesterday and they were fine. Everything was in place. There was a little trash already around the azaleas, part of a newspaper, a little bit of paper, wrapping paper, the usual.
Yeah.
So
It
I
is-
think they need to be checked regularly.
Yeah, there's a lot of trash. There's unfortunately some people will leave the shopping carts there. We also did talk with the tree warden though, and there's some dead trees there that should be coming down. You have to post that you're going to take them down, even if they're dead, which I thought was interesting. But anyways, so it's getting better. That corner should be better, and that's what I think of as the beginning of our kind of corridor area, starting there and going down along Route 1 all the way up to the top of Fort Hill. And I did mention, Missy, those dead trees at the top of Fort Hill. So Steve Post, who is our tree warden, did say it's on his list. So even
Yay.
if they remove them, there's still a mess there, but we can work with it, right?
Yeah.
All right. All right. But thank you all to all the volunteers who helped. They couldn't have done it without you.
And I will take care of watering them till the winter.
Okay, thank you. Are the jugs
Yeah.
working out?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much,
fine.
Aline. Aline and I went and used her truck, scooped up a big bunch of mulch, and yeah, so it was definitely a group effort. And really great too. They brought the big digger, big backhoe and everything and dug it up for us. It was like concrete. I mean, the guys were jumping on shovels and couldn't get through those roots. Anybody else have any questions or anything to say about the mural?
Nope.
Let's go on to the Groton Art Installation, which is a public art installation. We'd already talked about it a little bit under communications with Bruce. So Bruce, you're going to be meeting with Greg, Mark, and John at your home to look at the sculpture.
Yeah.
I imagine it's got to be Greg from Hanover from Public Works, because he's the one who I always talk to, and I know there was questions about how would you attach it. So I think he was very interested in that. I think Public Works was very interested in that. So that would be wonderful. If we could get a piece. Do we have any public art in this town that you're aware of? Do you know?
I don't think so. Not that I can think of offhand. No.
Other than our cute little whales.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, well, it would be really, really nice. And I think these guys are pretty interested if we could at least have a plan moving forward. All right, so Bruce is in charge of that and he's going to get back to us at our next meeting.
Yep.
And then the par 4 garden, I heard, so Shirley Mitkos is used to come to the meetings. She doesn't have a she doesn't do the Zoom meetings, so she hasn't been participating, but she had brought some, a friend had dug up some grasses and brought them to her home for the par 4. And then, so she was in touch with Mark had her in touch with me, and she came and worked with us at the Town Hall Annex. Now she has, she proposes to go and plant these. She has this miscanthus morning light grasses that she wants to plant at the par 4. I asked her, how does that work, to just go and plant something piecemeal? And she said it could work as long as you had a design. Now, I just was reading about this miscanthus morning light, and it gets very big and can be very invasive. So I don't know how to proceed. Do you have any, do you have any ideas? Tabitha, Missy, Aline, Bruce, I'm gonna leave you at this because it's, unless you have an idea about, I'm just not sure how to proceed with this par 4 situation.
It's not the right plant for a small area.
It's not a small area. It's a fairly large planting bed.
Well, but those things, all I know is when you try to dig them up, it's like digging through concrete, isn't it? Trying to break them up. I guess I got to go back to a couple of our, I know you've done a couple of different, well, actually one of them was for the rain garden, which isn't happening, but but anyways, I don't know what to say. I'm not in charge of par 4. Mark Berry would be very interested in somebody doing something there that wouldn't, cost the Parks and Rec any money. I am not sure how I feel about it. Does anybody have any? So Missy, you think that's the wrong plant for the wrong place?
I don't know. On one hand, you might want to just pass it off to her and just suggest that, the grasses are great, just, try to keep it in scale.
Mm-hmm.
They need room to grow and so you're going to need to have some space around them, not to overdo it. Words.
Right. Do you have any ideas, Aline, about this?
Well, if this person is going to be in charge of planting, or is she trying to get help to plant? I'm not sure I understand
She
the.
specifically said she wants to take them there and plant them. I said, you want to plant them yourself? And she said, yes.
So she's willing to take charge of the entire area and find someone to help her do this thing, and so we don't have to be involved.
That's a good question. I can ask her that. She has,
because someone is going to have to maintain it to try to keep it alive. So if she's willing to plant, she's probably willing to try to maintain it for a while. So while she's doing that, maybe she can finish the project.
yeah, because she has some other plants that like some rhododendron, but these are all very small. So I think that's a very tough area because it's going to get salt on it. And it's going to be very full of sun. She's got a yucca, a viburnum, and some little tiny baby Styrax japonica, which is the Japanese snowbell, which is a lovely plant, but they're seedlings. So she can't plant those there at this time. Plus you'd only need one. All right. Okay. Well, I will be in touch with Shirley, and I think your idea, I would love for somebody else to take that on. That's not in our corridor.
Mm-hmm.
Parks and Rec, I guess the report that we got at RTM was they made more money this past year than they've made in years because the COVID has been very good to golf courses across the country. And since they are having a hard time hiring people, their income far outweighs their outgo. So I would love for them to take care of it, to tell you the truth. Doesn't feel like anybody is particularly married to this, the par four. Missy, do you have any feelings, strong feelings? Okay. All right. Going on to new business then is I received an email. We already have to put our 2022 meetings together. So I how are people feeling about continuing on Mondays? Aline, are you had a Monday thing that is that gonna continue again?
It's going to start again in January likely, but I can take one Monday a month off for a meeting, so that shouldn't be an issue.
Okay. I hesitate to change it because there's not a lot going on Mondays, and every other day except for Fridays, there's a lot of meetings going on.
No, Monday will be fine for me.
Monday's good.
Okay, at 5:30?
5:30.
Okay, you're good. Okay. So I'm looking ahead at the schedule. You can't have it on a holiday, so next October, we couldn't have it on Columbus Day. But the only question is, for you romantics, the second Monday in February is February 14th, which is Valentine's Day. And the week after that is February 21st, and that's President's Day. So I don't know, do we have a meeting? It's on a Monday on Valentine's Day. Do people like to do Valentine's things with their Valentines?
Yeah, I can't do that. No, that's a no-no.
That's a no-no.
The guy, the guy.
That's like Mother's Day. You know.
Yeah, don't mess with Mother's Day. That's true.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So
Or maybe on that week, we can do it on a different day.
Can
Yeah,
you do
sure.
that a special meeting on a different day?
oh, we can have it on a different day, or we could have it the Monday before, but wouldn't it be nice if we could do it maybe on a Thursday and see if we could grab Andrew?
We
Mhm.
I'll-
can do it on Thursday that week. Yeah, why not?
Okay, all right, so I'll just because I love it when we can include people who can't normally come, and I know there's a number of people who Mondays are not good, so that's okay. We'll pick another day that week.
How about Tuesday? Tuesday's always a pretty decent day, I think. Not too many people have meetings on Tuesday except the town council.
I was gonna say town council, okay. All right, yeah, because I saw that and I'm like, February 14th, oh, I don't think so, okay. Excellent, well, I have to get that to Betsy McCousher. And then looking forward, the trees along Fort Hill Road, I would like those of us who are interested in doing something about that to go and look, because I am unsure exactly where we're talking about. And so I know, Missy, you're interested. Are you going to be around?
Yeah.
The last week, I won't be available until the 26th of October. That in that week. Should I just?
Yeah,
Yes.
like a Wednesday or a Thursday is good for me.
Okay,
Should we just talk about once we look at our calendars?
yeah,
Do we
I mean,
want-
let's, Thursday,
us-
the 28th would be good. It's like, let's do, I'll try to look at that. See if that, we
Okay.
can make that word.
Thursday, the 28th? Okay,
Yeah. And because this needs to, I think there's a lot of ability to beautify that road with some trees, bless you. But I need to know exactly what we're looking at. And the other thing that Steve Post brought up, he said, the state has a right of way, and I believe it's 7 feet. Because they had to make sure the right of way that we could dig at the Avery Parklet, which was quite, so I asked, so some areas, like the state doesn't want to have to maintain anything, so they say basically no. So
So
I
we'll-
asked,
yeah, we'll bring like a measuring tape with us when we look.
Yeah, and we
Okay.
can take pictures and Steve Post, he's very responsive and he'll let us know. And
Okay.
he can find out if it's within the state's right of way. And
Okay.
then I'm also would like to get to finish weeding at the town hall annex there, because it looks good up until the area where we didn't finish weeding. And is there anybody who would be interested in doing that? Maybe I can get, well, I don't know if I can get anybody from the town hall, from the city, from the town council. Because the planting part is way more fun than the weeding part.
I'll help you.
What day are we talking about?
Once again, I don't have a date. I just went by there today and everything looks great, except that the weeds are already coming in.
Yeah, just drop me a text.
All
Maybe
right,
I
well,
can.
maybe I'll try to coordinate it with Tabitha. If she's gonna come out on her lunch break
Oh,
one
okay.
day.
Yeah, and Michelle wanted to do it too. Michelle Maitland.
Okay.
So-
Ooh, maybe I could bring you guys sandwiches.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Okay. Okay, we
Well,
could either
it should
do,
be an hour or 2 hours if we are a few people.
right,
Because what's left is not, it's not the worst part, actually.
yeah, and we need to work on that azalea there too, cleaning
Mhm.
that all out. All right,
Right.
so I'll try to send out something, and maybe I'll send it to Michelle and Tabitha first to see if we could get a good day for them, get date and time, and then work around that.
That works.
Because so right now we're working on the mural, the public art, and trying to get some trees. So those are what I'm seeing. Does anybody else see any very short term that we're going to be looking at right now?
Whatever became of the fountain in Mystic? What did we decide on the fountain in Mystic?
Well, so I spoke at length with Anne, and I think we don't have enough people. She asked, can we have some people? I'm happy to help her with it. But I don't know if we have the manpower in this specific area, because I want to try to work on that corridor. I'm going to be, I let her know, I'm trying to get the Trillium Garden Club involved. And I'd be happy to meet her. So I think when I'm back, she and I are going to meet. I really do think, once again, it comes back around, which Bruce has been saying, is the town has got to take responsibility for these certain things. But what keeps happening, like that was part of the streetscape that was done a few years ago. As you know, Missy knows really has the best background on this, but there was no plan to either plant it or maintain it. So right now, this lovely woman, Anna Esposito, is planting the fountain, and she waters it all on her own. She uses the water from Densmore Oil, who's volunteered to allow her to use their water. But she's trying to water that area in downtown Mystic on her own.
Wow.
I know
Mhm.
it's, and she puts the pumpkins in there, and then the pumpkins will come down, and she'll put some holiday things in there. So she's does a beautiful job. She needs help on the bottom, and I don't have any problem weeding the bottom and planting the bottom. But if it needs to be watered, I don't really want to water take on another watering job.
Really hard. When I
Yeah.
met with her, it's very hard to pull this hose out. It's quite hard. It's on a reel.
Right.
And she spends $200 to $400 every year for the seasonal plants that she puts in there.
Right.
So,
Well,
but she's very willing to continue to be involved.
and
so
but the one thing she did say is she would love to do like a rock garden there, which would need less water, but she would really like to plan it with a landscaper. And I said, so I sent her the link to the ARPA thing, the funds, because it sounds to me like many towns didn't get a lot of ARPA, or they have one big project they're going to do. That's not necessarily the case in Groton. So this is why it would be very beneficial for us to have a couple irons in the fire and have a couple proposals. So we do need to talk with other people who might be interested in murals, because if we can get them some more information, maybe they're going to try to do a mural. I think that the area that you spoke about, Bruce, would be phenomenal. And that's kind of a little pickup that that Thames Street could use. But in the meantime, I'm trying to keep my focus on that corridor there for
Yeah,
now, because I'm starting to get a lot of people asking me to do things, and if it's a little spot that's far off the beaten path, once again, who's going to maintain that? Which I keep coming back to. It's like, you can tell I'm a bureaucrat now. I keep coming back to, what's the bottom line,
mhm.
who's going to maintain that? So I think if we could, whereas the public art and murals and things like that, yes, there is some maintenance, but it's not at all like some of these gardens, which I would really love to help, but I don't think I can, I don't think we have enough people on our committee, but I'm going to meet with Ann, and I'm going to want to help, and I'm going to try to get Mark Berry involved
It's
too.
wonderful getting Trillium involved. You can get that other garden club involved. That would be fab.
Exactly, because it really, once it got planted, except for the watering, and she says the soil's really bad too, so. Anyways, all right, well, our next meeting, I'll keep you in the loop on that, Missy, okay? Our next meeting is November 8th, 2021 at 5:30. I think we're gonna have to, I think the town right now is doing everything through Zoom. Do you think the town at some point will lift that, Tabitha?
We're having a public meeting in person tomorrow, and I don't know. I have no idea.
That's in a pretty big space though. And I'm sure you'll be masked. So I don't know if
Yeah.
people, when we get to the point where we are allowed to do in-person meetings, I think I'll just throw it out there and see how you guys feel. We used to meet in the senior center in a larger spot, conference room. I really like the conference room at the annex, but you're closer. It's not as big of a room.
Goodbye, everybody. Please let me go, okay?
All right. Thanks, Missy.
Hi, Missy.
Bye-bye.
Well,
All
I'll go
right.
tomorrow night. I forgot all about that meeting. I go to the one at the senior center
Yeah,
to
Yeah.
kind of represent us. If anybody else wants to show up,
Yeah.
that would be great.
yeah. I unfortunately will not be here, but I'm going to send a letter to an email to the town council.
What time is that meeting, Tabitha, at the senior center? Is it 6:30?
6:30. 6:30 to 8:30. You can drop in at any time between in that window. And
Yeah.
it's really only going to take you 10 minutes to leave your opinion. So anytime in that window. works.
Well, the interesting thing was, so I went to the chili cook-off on Saturday, and somebody was saying that there was actually a wish list. Are there wish lists that? Okay.
So the process as we have it outlined, and I have a flow chart that I can send you guys, but is that we're gathering all possible ideas right now. And right now I have an Excel spreadsheet that I've been putting all the recommended ideas onto. And then we're going to taking all the ideas we're getting from the open houses and online and through various other formats and take all that and then say, well, how do we categorize that and divvy up the funding? And we're going to divvy up the funding into what we're calling buckets and into categories. And then we're releasing grant applications for those categories.
So if you were to say if Bruce was to say, I want public art, does it have to be specific? Like I want this kind of public art in this, so I could say, like, beautification is way too vague. I'm assuming I need to pick something that says, I want trees, or I want something very specific.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you want to apply for grant funding, you would want to have a program or a project in mind that you want to complete for an X amount of dollars.
Right. Well, how do we just, though, it sounds like the preliminary step is just trying to get the money into the correct bucket.
Yes, that's just to get us thinking about public art in general. Like, have we heard that anyone even wants public art? Then why have a bucket for public art?
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right.
It's
Bruce,
a lot.
now's your time. Our time too. All right. All right. Does anybody have anything else?
No, I think we are ready to adjourn.
All right. Anybody like to make a motion to adjourn?
Let's do that. I do. Make a
I'll
motion
second
to
that.
adjourn.
Okay. So you guys are the only two who get to like make the motion and second the motion. So first thing, it was Bruce, then it was Elaine, now it's Elaine, now then seconded by Bruce. Awesome. All right.
We
Will you
share the
guys-
work.
Yes, well, thank you so much. This meeting's adjourned at, well, we all agree, right? At 6:27. I appreciate you all so much. I'm enjoying this so much, getting things done. I feel like we've focused a lot on planting, so I would really like to now focus a little more on the arts because it seems a little more permanent.
Yep. Good.
Oh, the one thing I forgot to mention is our, we planted those pots at town hall and they've disappeared. The 3 pots that were at town hall by the front door, I think they were moved when the trim was painted. And the painters supposedly put them back, but they are gone. I cannot imagine anyone would take them because they were plastic and they were heavy and they had plants in them. I just can't. So anyways, they are no longer with us. I don't know what happened to them.
Maybe they're
so-
across the street at that place that has all of that junk in the yard.
I hope not. I hope not. Anyways, that was a little disappointing.
They may have been moved somewhere and we didn't find them yet. I just can't believe that people would walk away with those.
I wouldn't think so either. I mean, really, that
Mhm.
wasn't, yeah, I can't imagine. It would be very awkward.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get pots at the Give and Take or Goodwill, they weren't, they were donated to the beautification committee from Nancy Codan. So, which was very generous, but nonetheless, I can't imagine anybody wanting, so yeah, I'm afraid they got put somewhere too. The painters swear that they put them back. But so why would they say that if they didn't? But then I keep wondering, well, then did somebody else put them somewhere? And then, especially that I've walked around, everybody's walked around the outside, could something have happened to them? Could something have fallen on it and it gotten squished and then thrown away? But there's 3 of them. I don't know. I don't know. So, any of you investigators out there, you hear about the 3 missing pots, maybe we can find out what happened to them. Otherwise,
Let's ask the turkeys.
The
Yeah.
turkey's got them, yeah.
yeah, the turkeys got them. Exactly. They're like, we want these. We're going to decorate our little turkey house. All
I
right.
saw those turkeys the other day. I was over at CVS picking up a prescription for my wife,
Uh-huh.
and over at CVS, right,
Yeah.
we were right across on the sidewalk,
Uh-huh.
right where the walk light is, right across from the Avery Memorial.
Uh-huh.
Just kind of wandering around on
I
the
heard you.
sidewalk in the parking lot. Those 2 guys, those
Yeah.
2 turkeys.
I heard, did one of them get hurt?
Yeah,
Yes. Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Okay. And it's
Did.
recovering? Because
I don't know. I heard something about the Deep was gonna come get them.
Really?
Everybody loves
they
those
looked
things.
okay. I saw them just yesterday. They
Yeah.
looked okay yesterday.
Yeah, that's what somebody said, that they looked, that the guy who wasn't, whatever happened to him, he seemed better. So,
Gee, they are funny though. That's
No.
what probably we ought to do, a mural of the turkeys.
Yes.
maybe so, you're right. I mean, I'm telling you, people are really loving it. They really love it. I
I
mean, some
know,
people
yeah.
are saying that they get, in the way and they could cause an accident, but people are really enjoyed the sightings and
They're
posting.
very
So-
tame. I mean, they come right up to you and everything.
Well, sometimes it looks like they can be a little assertive sometimes.
Yeah.
They'll like chase a bicycle or, so anyways. All right, guys. Well,
Right.
very good to see you and chat with you, and you'll be getting some emails from me.
Okay.
Well,
I hope you have a
don't
really
work too
productive
hard. You're
meeting
supposed to
on
be
Wednesday.
Going away.
I'm sorry?
Enjoy your time away. Don't work too hard.
Yes, no, I'm gonna enjoy myself. It's gonna be warm.
Good.
Texas. It's gonna be warm in Texas. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Boy.
God bless you.
Yeah. All right. All right, y'all.
Bye.
Okay.
See you later.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.